A Calder Trophy winner isn't supposed to come from pick 62. He's not supposed to be 5'9", 160 pounds. And he's definitely not supposed to outscore, outplay, and outshine almost every single prospect taken ahead of him. But Lane Hutson broke every rule the NHL had about drafting a defenseman, and he did it instantly. He stepped into Montreal and became a franchise cornerstone overnight. 66 points. Monster minutes, record-setting production, and a playoff berth the Canadiens had been desperate for. So, how did 61 players get drafted before him? Which teams nailed their picks? And which ones are already wishing they could take them back? Let's break it all down. Lane Hutson shouldn't have worked out. After all, how often does a 5'9", 160-pound defenseman pan out in the NHL? Not often, right? Well, thankfully, this guy can move, and he was one of the smartest players in the entire class. That's the kind of thing that can make you stand out, and in the case of Lane Hutson, it really did. Hutson played in 82 games for the Canadiens in 2024-25, becoming just the fourth defenseman in the NHL's modern era to lead rookies in scoring with his 66 points, made up of 6 goals and 60 assists. He also comfortably led all rookies in ice time, with 500 more minutes than any other skater, and in doing so, made himself an easy pick for the Calder Trophy. He received 165 first-place votes, in comparison to just 15 for the next best rookie, Dustin Wolf. So, if he was such an easy winner of this prestigious award, why did he have to wait so long to hear his name called? Well, to find out, let's see who was taken before him, and how many teams regret their choices. The first overall pick in 2022 was Juraj Slafkovsky. Amazingly, he also went to the Montreal Canadiens, making this one hell of a draft class for them. Slafkovsky had already featured in over 200 NHL regular season games before he turned 21, and was a regular contributor in the box score, racking up 48 goals and 73 assists. The 6'3" Slovakian was built like a pro hockey player from a young age, and his breakout moment came at the 2022 Winter Olympics, where he led Slovakia to bronze, and was named the tournament MVP. Montreal saw a winger with impressive physical tools and enticing upside, so they pulled the trigger first overall, hoping that he could become a franchise cornerstone. Injuries limited what he could do as a rookie somewhat, but when the 2023-24 season rolled around, the Canadiens got all the evidence they needed that they had picked correctly. In his second NHL season, he set a franchise record for most points in a season by a teenager, which ultimately led to him signing an 8-year, $60.8 million extension ahead of the 2024-25 season. This guy still has a lot of room to grow, but the Habs hope he can turn it into a true first overall pick superstar in the coming seasons. So next up, the New Jersey Devils should have selected Lane Hutson, right? Instead, they went with Simon Nemec, making him the highest drafted Slovak defenseman in NHL history. He had already proven himself playing against men in Slovakia's top league and at the international level, and was generally regarded a safe pick. For a long time, it looked like this pick might have been an underwhelming one. But, as is often the case with these youngsters, you just need to give them time to find their footing. That has certainly been the case with Nemec. In the 2025-26 season, he is getting much more involved, already surpassing his career best for goals and currently posting a positive plus-minus rating for the first time in his career. He has stepped up for the Devils, evidenced by the fact that he became the youngest defenseman in NHL history to score both a hat-trick and an overtime winner in the same game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and only the 9th player in NHL history to do so. Devils fans will still be hoping to see more from the former second overall pick, but it is clear he is moving in the right direction. Logan Cooley was the third pick taken in the 2022 draft, originally by the Arizona Coyotes, who have since relocated to Utah. Cooley was a popular pick as the 2022 class's most skilled center, particularly thriving as a slick passer. As is the case with most top 3 picks, he had an incredibly high ceiling, and nothing that we have seen so far suggests that he won't hit that ceiling, showing signs of being an elite first-liner. He leads the entire 2022 class in goals and points and is currently tracking for a career-best season. His 5 points against the Golden Knights in November reflect a player who is really on top of his game, and it is fair to say that in a redraft, this guy is still going top 3. Shane Wright was the 4th pick in the draft. He has taken a bit longer to come on than the rest of the players we have mentioned so far, initially looking at risk of hitting bust status over the first couple seasons with the Seattle Kraken. His usage became a hot topic of conversation, and the warning signs were there when he was being healthy scratched. But like we said with Nemec, you have to give these guys time to develop, and he is certainly doing that now, becoming a solid contributor for the Seattle Kraken. At pick 5, Cutter Gauthier was taken by the Philadelphia Flyers. This was a controversial one, not because he wasn't worthy of the 5th overall pick, but because he simply refused to sign for the team that drafted him. So he was sent to the Anaheim Ducks, where Gauthier has become a very solid player, scoring 20 goals as a rookie and looking well on track to beat that in 2025-26. At picks 6 and 7, we have a couple of selections that haven't quite had the same level of success as the guys who went before them. David Jiricek and Kevin Korchinski went to Columbus and Chicago respectively, and both look like they still have a fair bit of developing to do. Neither player has shown they are capable of sticking at the NHL level yet, although you can't be writing off 21-year-old players, so there is still time, of course. Someone who has had a lot more success in the NHL than the previous 2 selections is Marco Kasper, who became a Detroit Red Wings player with the 8th overall pick. He is a physical center who projects to be a rock-solid contributor for years to come, netting 19 goals and 37 points across his 77 games as a rookie in 2024-25. Admittedly, his 2025-26 season isn't looking as promising, but we have at least seen him play at a consistent level as a pro, suggesting there is something there for the Red Wings moving forward. The 9th pick in 2022 was Matt Savoie, who hasn't had much of a chance to show what he can do on the NHL stage. He hasn't been helped by injury, but he also didn't do enough to convince the Buffalo Sabres to keep hold of him. He now plays for the Edmonton Oilers, where game time isn't exactly easy to come by, but he has at least started to show signs of being a contributor moving forward. Rounding out the top 10, we have Pavel Mintyukov, who went to the Anaheim Ducks. He is one of the most experienced players to come from this draft class so far, racking up 130 games over his first 2 seasons as a pro. He has been a really solid defenseman for the Ducks from the get-go, opening his account with 28 points as a rookie, before seeing a slight decline to 19 points in 2024-25. Still, this was a good pick by Anaheim to round out the top 10. Out of the next few selections, Frank Nazar at pick 13 is starting to emerge as a promising forward for the Chicago Blackhawks. He looked pretty comfortable on the ice immediately, showing off his speed and creativity to snipe 12 goals and 14 assists as a rookie. He is looking well on track to beat those numbers in this 2025-26 season. More value was found at 18th overall, where the Dallas Stars selected Leon Bichsel. It was always going to be tricky for him to break through on this crowded roster, but he played pretty well as a rookie in 2024-25 and has earned himself more playing time in 2025-26. After 23 games, he has a plus-minus rating of 7, and he is clearly more than happy to use his big frame to make an impact, which is helping make him a favorite with the fans. Liam Ogren, Ivan Miroshnichenko, and Owen Pickering over the next few selections have had steady starts without making much of an impact, while Nathan Gaucher at pick 22 for Anaheim hasn't made the step up to the NHL yet. We have to move on to pick 28 to find our next draftee with any meaningful experience, where the Buffalo Sabres selected Yuri Kulich. This guy goes down as a superb value for the Sabres, displaying plenty of talent whenever he has been on the ice. He fired in 15 goals to go along with 9 assists in a promising rookie season, but was unfortunately sidelined early as a sophomore because of a blood clot issue. Still, this was a good use of a late first-rounder by Buffalo. Our next notable pick is Fraser Minten, who became a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs at pick 38 in the second round. You're not going to find many flashy prospects in the second round, but Minten certainly fits into the high IQ category with two-way versatility. He impressed the Maple Leaf staff enough to make the 2023 opening night roster before returning to the juniors. Now a member of the Bruins, Boston has high hopes for him, and he has gotten off to a solid enough start for them in 2025-26. The vast majority of this second round has been restricted to minor league action so far, but Seamus Casey certainly showed some promise, contributing 4 goals and 4 assists in just 14 games in 2024-25. He went to the Devils at pick 46. Meanwhile, the last player of note taken before Lane Hutson has to be Matthew Poitras, who impressed enough to play 66 games across his first 2 seasons as a Bruin, netting 6 goals and 20 assists. Unfortunately, he failed to make the opening night roster for the 2025-26 season, meaning he is currently playing in the AHL, hoping to earn a call-up. When you look back at the 2022 draft class, what Lane Hutson has done feels almost impossible. The second round is filled with players still trying to earn a roster spot or find consistency, yet the 62nd pick has already become a franchise pillar in Montreal. He didn't just outperform the guys taken around him, he outperformed almost everyone taken before him. A 5'9" defenseman who wasn't supposed to survive at the NHL level ended up winning the Calder, logging monster minutes and helping lead the Canadiens back to the playoffs. It's rare for a late second rounder to change the perception of an entire draft, but that's exactly what Hutson has done. And now the real question becomes unavoidable. In a redraft, how high does he go? Top 10? Top 5? Maybe even higher? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos.